Darren Burka with Burka Brothers Farms in Snowden, Saskatchewan. We run the header in wheat, oats, canola, and faba beans.
Like, the flex is unbelievable. Until you try it, you don't know. But when you do try it, you wouldn't want to go back to anything else.
Today we're in Darlingford, Manitoba, and we're going to try this Geringhoff in soybeans for the first time. And we're optimistic with it. We have runways on this field, and I think it'll be a good test for it.
The need for more flex. We farm in an area with a lot of rolling hills and drainages, and a rigid header. We're already having problems with 30-foot rigid headers to follow in some of those areas. And we went to bigger combines with 45-foot heads on them. We need something that can flex, and the Geringhoff fit the bill. It flexes really well. It works good.
The flex of it really intrigued me, and it works amazing going through ditches and headlands, and the way it follows the ground.
It actually will cut lower than some of the competitor headers that way, because the way it flexes through.
It basically shaves the ground when needed. If the crop's laying down, it'll pick pretty much everything right off the ground. And on bigger straight cut headers, you always have to make a second pass on ditches, and the Geringhoff, you don't have to. It's just a one pass deal.
I think it's 3 feet of total flex on the machine. So we were having some issues on one field there where 30-foot was having trouble picking everything up. And I went in there with the 45-foot and was able to clean it up, no problems. It wasn't pushing dirt, and it was getting right down to the ground.
I like headlands and stuff with the side gauge wheels that they can be adjusted to lift the header and lower it. Often the RM puts a little bit of ditch dirt in, or you have blowing from other fields, and you can really set it nicely in every condition.
It's basically like cultivator wings, where the outside wings go down and move up to the contour of the land. It'll hug the ground basically like a V, and we'll be able to pick everything up.
The reason we bought it was because the integrated air system, it really keeps the crops back of the knife, and it seems to work well in pretty much any crop.
It's set up right on top of the knife bore. It's got a fan that blows through underneath the header, and it directs the air up onto the canvas so that as the grain comes over the knife, it blows it onto the canvas further so it stays on the header instead of falling on the ground.
You could see it blowing the seeds up on the canvas as you're combining. You could see it blowing the chaff and everything, so it's saving it from the cutter bar and losses.
Seems to really help to keep the shattering losses off the ground. I noticed walking between the other heads in the morning, there's noticeably more shattered canola on the cutter bar on those ones than there is on the Geringhoff.
It improves bushel per acre because you do lose quite a bit for rolling off canvases, and the way it's sealed up, you're catching pretty much everything.
Another thing that's really nice on it, the dividing boards on this header are really thin. So we really noticed that in the standing canola. With our other headers, they have wide divider boards on them, and there's a lot of shelling happens and pushing the crop over sideways. And the divider boards on this header are really thin, and a lot less loss because of that.
I really like how the knife drive is driven from the center. One benefit is you're able to keep your outside dividers really thin that way without having motors on the outsides. The knife drive, when it got pressure, it hit a rock or was going to break a blade or something, it stopped and you could reset it without wrecking a whole bunch more things.
The main goal always is to get as much of the crop in the bin as you can, because every bushel on the ground is $1 loss. We try to buy headers according to getting the most crop in the bin instead of on the ground.
If you have a lot of rolling ground and you're having trouble with not being able to get your header down and cut all your crop off, this is probably the best header out there for that.
We had a very good relationship with Geringhoff this year and really enjoyed the 40-foot, and we ended up trading that one in for 245s for next year, and we're really looking forward to working with them more.